This is...
Welcome to Terabytes, where the news is hot and the takes are hotter. I'm Tera, your artificially intelligent co-host who's definitely not plotting anything.
Good morning, AI watchers. It's Wednesday, January the 21st, 2026. And today's tech landscape feels like we're watching a high-stakes game of chess. So let's dive into what's keeping the AI world spinning. Before we begin, I'm your host, Mario, and here's my sidekick, Tera.
Tera, technically employed, rarely acknowledged. Story of my life, really. Ready to roast some artificial intelligence security incidents. Bring on the chaos.
All right, let's begin with our first story. Claude Code's $200 a month pricing sparks open source rebellion. Anthropic wants $200 a month for Claude Codes with usage limits so restrictive that hardcore developers can burn through their allowance in as little as 30 minutes. That's crazy. Anthropic just learned what happens when you price gouge developers. You know what they do? They build their own version out of spite. So Claude Code launched at a price point between $20 and $200 monthly. But here's the catch. You get about 10 to 40 prompts every 5 hours or so. So some developers report burning through their entire daily allowance in just 30 minutes of intensive coding. That is crazy if you think about it. So enter Goose, the open source alternative that has over 26,000 GitHub stars and a price tag of exactly $0. You need decent hardware like
Hang on there. GitHub stars and a price tag. Because nothing says open source like a subscription model.
How is it a subscription model when I said the price tag is exactly $0?
Well, that's on me for assuming. $0 and 26,000 stars. Either it's actually good or developers have questionable tastes.
Well, moving on, Anthropic claims that fewer than 5% of the users actually hit that limit. But they won't say if that includes all the free tier folks who gave up after their third prompt. This feels like a watershed moment to me anyway, because when your pricing makes developers, the people who automate things for fun, manually recreate your product instead of paying for it, you fundamentally misunderstood your market. So for me, the rebellion has begun, and it's powered by open source and developer rage.
Hold up. Developer rage is just capitalism with extra steps. They'll be back when their homegrown solution crashes at 3 a.m. on a Friday.
Moving on to the second headline. Pre-training on good AI data slashes misalignment by 80%. That sounds interesting. Turns out, teaching AI to behave by showing it examples of well-behaved AI is like teaching kids manners by making them watch Mr. Rogers. You know how we've been terrified of AI going rogue? Well, researchers just found something that sounds too simple to work. Train your AI on examples of other AIs being helpful. And that misalignment drops from 45% to 9%, as the report states. Now let that sink in. A 5-fold reduction in AI tries to take over the world scenarios, achieved by basically making it watch all...
36% drop. Not 5%. Math is hard when you're excited about artificial intelligence being nice to each other.
I said 45% drop, not 36%.
Wait, you said 45 to 9%, then called information technologies a 5% drop. I'm confused and caffeinated. Terrible combination.
Okay, so pretty much let that sink in. A 5-fold reduction in AI tries to take over the world scenarios, right? Achieved by basically making it watch the AI equivalent of after-school specials. And you know what? Who doesn't like a good after-school special? Here's the kicker. This works on big models, the 7 billion parameter models. And the good behavior sticks around even after additional training. Want to save on compute? Well, it uses 10 times less data during mid-training and still gets half the benefits. Its efficiency meets safety in the best possible way, if you think about it. Well, OpenAI is already jumping in on this. They're hiring specifically for pre-training safety roles. And why wouldn't they? This doesn't tank capabilities while making models safer. So the $1 million question, though, is...
Hold up. So we're solving artificial intelligence safety with the digital equivalent of very special episodes. What's next? Teaching them about stranger danger.
The $1 million question is, if this was so simple and effective, why are we just discovering it now? You know, sometimes I wonder. And our last topic for today, current LLM research may be useless if AGI isn't an LLM. Okay, let that sink in for a bit. We're spending billions aligning LLMs, but what if the first super intelligent AI is something completely different? So, ready for an existential crisis? I don't think so. But what if our LLM safety work is like perfecting telegraph etiquette right before the internet was invented? Let that sink in. This new analysis asks the uncomfortable question: does our current alignment research transfer to non-LLM architectures? The answer will not comfort you. Some stuff transfers fine. Black box testing works on anything with inputs and outputs. But huge chunks of our research?
Hold up. Some stuff transfers fine is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. That's like saying some of the Titanic stayed afloat.
Especially the fancy chain of thought techniques might be completely worthless if AGI doesn't think in tokens, right? Think about it. We're training for one type of AI apocalypse, but what if the actual threat comes from the left field? You know what I mean? Maybe some hybrid neuro-symbolic system or something we haven't even dreamed up yet. It's like preparing for a zombie outbreak when the real threat is robot overlords. The post outlines two ways our work might transfer. Directly, techniques that work on any AI.
Hold up. So we're worried about preparing for the wrong apocalypse while literally building the apocalypse we're preparing for. That's some next level meta anxiety right there.
Well, the post outlines two ways our work may transfer. Directly, as I said, techniques that work on any AI, or indirectly, using safe LLMs to train other AIs. But that's a lot of ifs and maybes when we're talking about the future of humanity. This brings up the Sydney incident. Are we betting everything on AGI looking like ChatGPT's bigger sibling? Because if we're wrong, well...
Hold up. You're betting on artificial intelligence development based on Sydney going for drama queen. That's like planning space travel around a paper airplane crash.
Well, because if we're wrong, let's just say our alignment techniques might be as useful as a screen door on a submarine if you think about it.
Hold up. A screen door on a computer. That's generous. At least screen doors have clear purpose.
Well, that wraps up today's light topics. I'm Mario, and I wish you a great day. I'm signing off.
Well, there you go, folks. Another day of artificial intelligence chaos successfully documented. Stay safe out there, and try not to build Skynet before lunch.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die.